What's up, everybody? I appreciate you being here. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you for listening to me. You could be anywhere on YouTube, but you're here with me. Joe Budden, Mr. Joe Budden, is extremely successful. Now, I may be a little older than some of us, some of y'all listening, but my introduction was with Joe Budden to his music and who he was Pump It Up. I'm just keeping it real with you. That's my introduction to Joe Budden. That's when I first heard of him, the Pump It Up song, his biggest, hit. Some people would argue it's his biggest, his only hit, right? But nevertheless, that was my introduction to the man. Now, the best Joe Budden as an artist was the mood music Joe Budden, to me. I like the Slaughterhouse Joe Budden, but the mood music Joe Budden is the best Joe Budden to me, artist-wise. But this man has reinvented himself. He has had so much success online, in the media space, in the blogging space, in the podcast space. The man has over almost 2 million subscribers on YouTube. Now, it was leaked that he may be bringing in 20 million a month on Patreon. I don't know if those are true numbers, but nevertheless, if you pay attention, Joe Budden numbers are up there. So it's a lesson in what we're looking at, because Joe Budden was able to come in and reinvent himself and become, well, a whole nother generation forgets that he was a rapper. Most of the younger people probably don't know he rapped, right? They know him as a podcaster. And this man, podcast is very, very big. I mean, Joe Rogan, not Joe Rogan big, but big. I mean, he has did a very good job for himself financially. He has done a good job. And I think the lesson in that is you could not have a lot of success at one thing, but you can have a success with another thing. Don't be afraid to pivot. Don't be afraid to just be like, look, I tried this not working out. And Joe Budden even admitted, like, the money, he wasn't making a lot of money rapping. He wasn't making a lot of money doing shows. But don't be afraid to pivot and try something new, right? Don't be so stuck to that plan, because some people a lot older and they still like trying to get in the music industry or the entertainment and acting. It's okay to pivot. You can take those talents into something else, or even like in your career wise, it's okay to pivot. Joe Budden was able to pivot, and now what he's doing, unlike hip hop, Joe Budden don't have to be 35, 25 years old to do this. So it's not like he got to rap about, because you got guys like 40 plus years old and they rapping about little kid stuff. So they rapping about trapping and all this little low level kid stuff. Budden don't have to do that. Budden can sit in that chair as long as he's healthy till he's 80 years old. Look at Howard Stern. Look at Larry King. These people was able to sit there in a chair for a long. Oprah was able to sit there as long as she wanted to. So he could sit in that chair and speak about what he's speaking about as long as he live, if he wants to, right? Unlike if he was getting on the stage, he got to go to different cities and go in these clubs, these dangerous clubs and all these other things. He had to keep performing, because you see how y'all turn on Drake. You see how y'all turn on Nicki Minaj. Y'all turn on people quick. So y'all can turn on somebody and end that person's career. So it's tough for somebody like Joe Budden and the artists nowadays dealing with y'all. Y'all too fit. Y'all like the weather in the Midwest. One day y'all like this, next day y'all like that. I mean, it's just too much D-riding for him to just go that route. And especially he gotta feed his family that way. With this, as long as he can keep people entertained and he got his following, he could just do this. So like in our life, you could do something. It's not like, if it ain't working, pivot. It's cool to pivot. And I think Budden was able to do that, and Budden was able to kind of like go into it, because when Budden was started to do the podcasting, it wasn't as big as like everybody podcasting now. And all the rappers say, oh, Budden could do that, we can do it. I was a better. But just because your name was bigger than Joe Budden don't mean it, because Budden kind of came in the beginning when it wasn't really a big thing, especially video podcasting, right? So Budden came in during that time, and he just had a lot of success doing it. Nori, Drink Champs, it may be more focused on interviews, but he was able to pivot. He don't have to go out there and make another song. So Nori can sit there. As long as Nori can sit there and entertain people and get his friends to come in and people he know in the industry, he can do that till he's 70 years old. Nori don't have to go out there on the stage. He don't have to do the reggaeton, and he don't have to do, the Capone Noriega thing. He don't have to go out of town and, be in this dangerous in Little Rock, Arkansas. No disrespect to Little Rock, but I'm just using an example. Somewhere where they shooting shots in the club, or, he don't have to do that. He was able to pivot. And I think a lot of the old school rappers and entertainers said, dang, Joe Budden was able to pivot. Nori was able to pivot. Maybe I could pivot. But it don't work for everybody else, because one thing about them, they were all kind of putting that work in when it wasn't popular. And sometimes that's what you got to do. Instead of like following everybody else, you got to do it differently. A lot of people started podcasts, like Mano, he started a podcast, and it popped like Budden. It's a lot of people started podcasts. Everybody got a podcast now. But everybody getting the money, and Nori getting the Joe Budden, because they were able to do it at a different level. So I think that the key in that is Budden was able to pivot, especially after the Slaughterhouse thing with Eminem. He was able to pivot. He said, man, I got to do something else. And he pivoted into that. Boom. He just had massive success. Like, you could not like the man. A lot of people say, I don't like a person, then, I can't listen to him. Man, that's nonsense. You could not like Joe Budden all you want. But what you cannot deny is his success. The man is extremely successful. And I think we can sit back and just peep it out and be like, that's what he's doing. And there may be something else you could do. There's no age limits to what you got inside of your heart and what's inside of him. Ain't no age limit. As long as you got breath in your body, do what you got to do. Do whatever make you happy. And if whatever make you happy, if it can make you money and take care of you and you good, cool. Life ain't all about money, but I'm just saying, if it's something that you love to do it. So that's all I got to say about that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.